Boom, and we're live. What's up, everyone? This is it. First episode of the shoot. It is now happening. It is live. We are here right now. Obviously, I'm so excited for this to happen, and I hope that many more episodes, many more guests, and obviously many more opportunities come so we can get the hell out of my bedroom and into someplace bigger. So please, with the support, tune in, watch, and enjoy this stint. Right now, we're with my brother Noah, lead guitarist of the band Füsebox. And right now, what we're gonna do is simple. We're gonna shoot the shit. So what's up, man?
Just chilling. I woke up. Well, we moved the room around yesterday. You helped with that.
Yeah, no telling. It was stressful. It's really stressful moving your big ass bunk bed around, having to mount your TV. So to put the new TV in for my room, as you can see, it's really nice.
Sucked. It was the mount.
Yeah, it was horrible. So like I said before, man, we were talking. You're a musician. You're a hardcore musician. You're a very good guitarist. You're like one of the few people I've heard play where I'm like, that person has special talent.
Oh, thanks.
And your band is obviously taking off real big. So tell us how your band started.
Okay, so it's pretty interesting. We just started one summer, like as friends, I guess, and now all those friends are no longer my friends. It's weird. I'm the only surviving original member of my band. But you know what? It's cool because the new friends of my band have actually been, old. So the bassist, Patrick, he was my friend in elementary school for like longest time. With third grade buddies. I mean, we do everything. And then we kind of grew apart. So we went like this, and then we kind of met up again like right here in like high school. Because I mean, when you stop having the same classes together, it kind of messes everything up. So it's kind of funny how it worked out. And I mean, now obviously the talent in my band is like so much, at this level.
Like it's at a whole different level.
Yeah, it's at a whole different level. Yeah, no. When we started, I mean, you listen to us practice. We'd rehearse here. We sounded pretty good, and we were, practicing all the time. But I think it's pretty funny how, like, ultimately, I mean, the band has always just kind of been about the music and less about, like, what we're doing. So that's why, the rotation of members, I guess, had to happen. So that way the music could keep coming to that level. Because if it were, tarnished in any way, then what's the point of having the band, It's all about the music pretty much, essentially, for me, and it always, like, has been, I guess.
Well, you guys have been on a roller coaster of, like, events. I mean, you kicked out your bassist, then you fired your drummer, and then recently, like, funny roller coaster of a thing, y'all singer just decided to walk out in the middle of a recording session.
Yeah.
In the middle of a recording session.
I mean, it was pretty lame because it was like, $2,500 recording session. And
no shit?
Yeah.
$2,500 recording session.
I mean, the studio cut us an awesome deal because that's like $2,500 for a week. Most places with, equipment like that where they do analog to digital stuff like that. I mean, they have nice stuff in there.
Yeah.
And they have, beautiful equipment, and $2,500 for like a week is, of course, I mean, now we don't have singing on it, but that's why me and the band have been practicing to try and adopt our own singing, maybe get another rhythm guitarist.
Yeah. well, okay, going back to obviously what made him decide to like leave? Because obviously if I'm in that mindset of, all right, we got studio time, we're really getting it, we're on the cusp of maybe getting a record or something out there to push, and maybe get a chance to even get bigger outside of the city. I just don't understand why you're given everything at your fingertips and you just walk away.
Well, I mean, like, to his credence, he said the music, like, got too heavy or something, but my problem was he never communicated that. He was always very supportive, and he talked with me, and I mean, like, we had very, real conversations. I mean, you know what I mean? It wasn't like I could tell he was not feeling it or anything. He never even brought it up. He was there, and he, I guess, was into it when he acted, or I don't know. But I mean, he wanted, maybe that's the only reason. Really, I'm sure he wanted to do his own thing, but he didn't really think about it that now he had to commit to a record. And I mean, I just wish he would have let us know sooner, so that way, we wouldn't go record a record, and now we don't have singing on it, and we've had to go through all this trial and error, figuring shit out. And I think right now what we're doing, where it's me and Patrick so far trying to do dual vocals, might work out.
Well, I mean, there's no better time than to honestly have like a good stall in them right now, obviously during this pandemic and everything that's going on. So in a way, it was a blessing in disguise that y'all's lead singer decided to leave, and we're not gonna say his name because
out of respect.
Out of respect, and also just because he sounds like a child and like a diva, to be honest. I mean, I just don't understand that, and especially if you don't communicate the fact like, hey, I don't like the direction this is going, or I kind of want to do my thing. You kind of let people know, especially before, like, hey, we got something big going on here, and you don't have that. To me, that's just, it's irresponsible, and it's just ridiculous. Yeah. It's a bullshit diva demand. It sounds like a diva.
I mean, I was upset, and I'm a little bit, but I mean, it's just like, you're gonna do what you're gonna do, and I just think he could have done it at a better time, because
also done it in a better way. Like, didn't he say he texted you that he just randomly quit?
It was a long paragraph. I mean, it was like a conversation, almost like he explained it, like a long thing. But I mean, I don't know why he just couldn't, tell me. Because up until that point, like every single time it was like bro talk, how you sit there with your friends and like really talk and stuff.
Well, yeah, exactly what we're doing right now.
Yeah, or like when you sit with, I don't know, your like best friend and you're just there like right now shooting the shit like privately or whatever. And it's like... It just kind of sucks that, like, I was there being for real. And I don't know if he was being for real. But, like, the time I was there, it's like, I just wish a lot of stuff with the band, like, could have gone differently. Because, honestly, there were, like, some funny things that happened where, like, they easily could have been prevented. And, I mean, they were kind of dumb, really. We should have figured shit out. We were, like, still in high school. So, everyone was still thinking emotionally.
Well, I mean, y'all are hormone-fueled teenagers. I mean, everything happens. That's life. People change. People have different things. People get
it's okay.
Emotions or thoughts just like boom right out of it, and they're like, "Oh, I gotta follow that. I gotta do that. I gotta do that." Well, that's how you live and learn. And obviously, don't ever do something like that when he did. When you're committed to something, don't do that.
No, I don't want to do
express communication. But
that's what it's all about.
But I give props to you, dude, because honestly, with there was 4 members. You're the last original member who founded the band, and they all left. Lots of people would have just called it quits, threw their hands up and been like, fuck this didn't work, I'm done, yeah, I'd rather just go to school or do something else. Like, a lot of people would have done that. But you stayed consistent, you stayed with it, and I think that goes to your mindset, and I've seen it growing up, because you are my brother, and I've known you for from almost 20 years now, but it's just, you've always had that obsession with everything you did. It was roller coasters, it was monster trucks, it was trains, and now obviously it's music. It's music. And I remember because when I was into rock and heavy metal, I really got into it.
No, I remember
in middle school, because that's when, I don't know, because I guess growing up, I was always into Ozzy. I loved Sabbath, because Ozzy was my first, and then obviously I liked a little bit of Metallica, but then it wasn't until I dove deep into it with my friends that I got into Children of Bodom, Slayer, Anthrax, even multiple bands like Exodus, Testament, King Diamond, all of these bands that I just fell in love with, the sound, the vocals, Slipknot especially. I really got into Slipknot in my 8th grade and freshman year of 8th grade year of middle school and freshman year of high school, but you got into it really kind of late, and you started listening to bands that I never listened to. So how did all of a sudden you just fall in love with music?
You know what, Christian? Honestly, okay, so I explained it to everyone like this kind of too. So the original story of me getting into music in the first place is kind of lame. On YouTube, I used to just watch like, I don't know, videos of stuff, and then I'd like going into my recommended because it was like new stuff. I had that mindset like, oh, I want to see new stuff. And for some reason, I don't know who was watching on just the one computer, there kept being like rock and stuff in the thing. But then there was a music video that looked kind of cool, and it was by Disturbed. So my first like song I actually liked was a Disturbed song.
Disturbed song?
Yeah, it's called Pain Redefined. I thought it was cool because I liked how the guitar and the drums like did this thing with the syncopation on the beat. And that's like why, because originally at the time I was into like, new wave stuff kind of music. I liked, Men at Work and, New Order and stuff like that. But I got into, Disturbed. And then from that, Dad had a bunch of records and CDs.
Yeah, he still has a bunch of them.
And I went and looked at them because I was like, maybe I can find like some more stuff, because I kind of liked how the guitar sounded too, because I liked the distortion sound on them and how they were chunky and stuff. And I found Static X, and now Static X was the first real band I got into, that industrial metal sound.
Okay.
But I mean, this was the point. I was just getting into music, and then when I got into playing guitar, this is the lame part. I just saw my two friends doing it because they were there playing their favorite songs at school, and I was like, oh shit, that does not look that... I want to play my favorite songs at home. Yo, that's pretty easy. So I went home, and I was like, okay, I need to save up for a guitar, and I was like, oh shit, guitars are like expensive. So I worked for like
cheap.
like 6 or 8 months to like get a guitar and an amp, and then like Dad pitched in a little bit, like $50 so I could get like an amp. And I got my first little BC Rich, and I started playing. But when I really got into music suddenly was, I guess, So my sophomore year was like kind of weird, because I had a friend die my freshman year, and that like put me in a weird place.
Oh yeah, I remember you telling me about that. Yeah, for those we had a student. Well, I never went to school with him, but a student named what was his name again?
Gage Schroeder. He had an accident.
Yeah, Gage Schroeder. He passed away unfortunately a few years ago. May God rest his soul, but it was a tragic thing, and how did that in a sense I guess fuel you even more?
Well, I mean, the thing was, because I have always been kind of like an empathetic person, and I attached to everything very, very like, I don't know, like I look at everything and then I think of everything about that everything, an object, who made the object, what it looks like, obviously the work that went into it. So Gage was like this really almost pure like person, the most like honest. I couldn't understand. He and I would chill and hang out all the time in our English class, and we'd watch dumb YouTube videos, and the only song he would play on my guitar was the SpongeBob song, that do 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 do. That one.
He played the SpongeBob song?
Yeah, that's it. On my end, then. So the thing is, having someone like the way it happened was like, I'm not gonna say details, but it was like a really like weird accident, and it like put a lot of things into perspective for me.
Like it just made you look at life in a different way.
Well, yeah. I mean, having the knowledge of how that feeling could be.
Well, yeah. I mean, basically, it's just when something like that happens to you, it obviously puts something in perspective. It just widens your eyes in a sense, like
of everything.
I'm only guaranteed. I don't know how much I'm guaranteed. Only God knows for those who believe in that, or just say, what. Whenever my time is, we don't know. But, I mean, it really does put a big perspective on your life. Like, in a sense, your life, flashes right in front of you. And it's weird because people have that happen when, my life was almost like I was about to, get cut off, or, you just see something. But it can happen when just a friend or a family member passes away. It just gives you that perspective, especially someone really close. And it's just it's like a weird, saddening, kind of, I think it's a sickening feeling, but it also is.
It makes you feel a little sick.
But it also is an enlightening and learning experience to realize I got to get my shit together, and I got to make every minute of every day count for something.
Through that, I found Alice in Chains. Now, Alice in Chains was a turning point for me, because it suddenly was like, oh my gosh, this sound was like everything I could ever think of. Because in my head, I'd always have these melodies and stuff. I think of everything as music. When I think of music and stuff, suddenly I developed the able to feel if a line could move perfectly to a certain beat, I can close my eyes and imagine perfectly along to music certain things and interchange them. I've always been able to do that since I was a kid too, to close my eyes, and I can't physically see it, but perfectly and mentally sculpture whatever I want. And soon my brain kind of started to do that with music. It was as I got older and I started to feel the hormones build up and also chill out. It was also my brain was unlocking all of this shit, and I could feel it by the day. Like
it's like you're going through puberty, like while doing music, and you're
and it's like, oh shit.
It's like in Ratatouille when they're eating all the food and they have all the little colors instead of the colors just being little thoughts in your mind. It's your hormones going crazy. Like, have you seen Big Mouth? You seen that show on Netflix?
I've only seen the first episode.
Oh man, the hormone monster. That's literally what that reminds me of.
No.
It's like when you're playing, just have the hormone monster right there.
No, it's like so yeah, I mean, but as it slowly grew up, I started to like more industrial stuff, and I got into Nine Inch Nails real hard. And then I got into shit, man. I don't want to like forget. I got really into this band from Champaign called Hum. They're probably one of my favorite bands of all time. Great heavy space rock kind of sound. Their drummer's fantastic. They have some prog sounding stuff. I really love like, I guess, drumming that's like in odd time signatures, but the beats are like groovy. You're not like, oh, I'm lost on this. But I also like songs where you're like, oh, I'm lost on this, because then like a year ago I got into the Dillinger Escape Plan, and they are like the heaviest band like ever. It's like blast beats, pretty jazz section for like a little bit that throws you off.
What the fuck?
And then it's like destruction, and then they'll have like sections that are like, oh shit, they sound like really tense, I don't know, orchestrated like prog, like I don't know. They're the most versatile, and you know what? They do all this while jumping, throwing themselves around. They stage dive, they climb up shit, and on a break on their songs, then they drop down to the stage. They breathe fire at their shows. They've gotten banned from a lot of places because they had a guy who'd always be in the back ready to go, and then during 43% Burnt, which is everyone's favorite song by them, come out, boom, breathe fire, and they do that at places with low ass ceilings. We have like a cathedral ceiling here. The ceilings are like halfway to the Joker poster, and they're over here breathing fire. Places would get mad, and they would go and tear shit up. Their fans would rip things. They're great. Sorry to obsess over them, but
man, it sounds like what happens if Spider-Man were to play an instrument. You like climbing up the walls and all that shit.
Yeah, no shit. They are like Spider-Man. Like, jeez, they're
that's
ninjas
insane.
playing their instruments.
The way you describe that is something like I personally wouldn't get into, because I'm not into this new like hardcore scene. I mean, there's some stuff that I'm like I enjoy personally, like a little songs here and there, but I don't know. I like more stuff where you can, and no disrespect to any of those artists. I think if you have a gift and you have something and your band is what you want to do, then go for it. I mean, if it what makes you big and what makes you follow your dream, then I say go for it. But it's just not my cup of tea. It's not me bashing on it. It's just not my cup of tea, which I fucking hate tea. Don't ever serve me tea.
Yeah, I just had to drink. You know what? I'm not really a fan of tea. I just had to drink tea because, I've been straining my voice trying to practice.
Oh, you're trying to sing now, aren't you?
Yeah, that's what
Yeah, we can hear it all through the house.
It's, you know what? I mean, it's getting a lot. The only problem is it's just like, shit, man. Sitting there and playing. Some points playing guitar, it's like, you know, not hard. But at some points, that's why I think we're going to need a rhythm guitarist instead of getting another lead vocalist. And if this rhythm guitarist also has a pretty good voice, then it can be like, we trade off stuff. Lots of bands do that nowadays.
So kind of like Blink-182 kind of, because that's the only other band I know that trades off
a little bit.
Much as I know.
Alice in Chains, Code Orange. Right now, I know they're hardcore.
I like some of Code Orange's stuff. They obviously do a lot of stuff for actually wrestlers.
Oh,
they do a lot of covers
NXT,
for wrestlers.
They're great.
Yeah, they're actually a really.
They did it for Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, Bray Wyatt's the Fiend
theme.
Yeah, the Fiend's theme. I actually have that downloaded onto my phone. It's actually a really good song.
I love their vibe now too. They're doing this like digital like hell scary like skate thing that I was like imagining when I was like a lot younger, and then when I saw that I was like, wow, that is so cool. Like, because when I was little I was obsessed with like Static X and stuff and that stuff, and they're kind of going in that like visual direction. It's like scary. It's cool.
So many bands out there now. It's so hard to keep track.
I got into a lot of stuff.
It's the same thing with hip hop. There's so many like rappers out there where it's like it's so hard to keep track. Everyone's trending or popping up now where you're like, oh, have you heard this guy? Have you heard this?
Yeah, there's
band?
lots of new people popping up now.
Yeah, and it's crazy. It's crazy. But the thing that really annoys me and pisses me off is that you hear all these people that are coming from everywhere except here.
Yeah.
They're not coming from here. And I don't understand because there are many talented people that come from here. Obviously, we've had Khalid come out of here. Obviously, he wasn't born here. He's military, and I think that's right. I think that might be right. I'm not too sure.
I'm not too sure.
I'm not too sure either.
He's from here.
He went to high school here with me. I'm the same age as him.
And he proudly announces he is from here, which is badass.
Which is cool.
He loves the 915.
Yeah. I didn't go to high school with him, but we graduated the same year. We're the same age.
Yeah, he graduated from Americas.
America's high school, yeah. That's somewhere far east side. Far east side, yeah. But, I mean, there's so many talented people, and I've heard some of these talented people, but, I mean, to me, I don't know, you might have something different, but to me, it's just the city does not give a shit about portraying arts. Like, filmmakers, musicians, and all this stuff. Like, I don't know. I feel like the best way I like to describe the city is like it's a one-way road with a dead end at the end. Like, there's nowhere else to go.
Yeah.
And I think that's not good because you have so much stuff and opportunity here that you can blossom something. Like, there's been musicians and people that are in film, actors that I've met that can't get anything because the city or its people doesn't want to support and promote them. At least that's the way I see it, and I think it's a terrible thing because the city should promote.
There should be an endorsement for the best of the artists.
Exactly. Like, let's get this place big. Let's get this place bigger because I don't want this place to be like, oh, El Paso, the border town, Rosa's Canteen.
Just even
Cantinas,
like even imagine them promoting like a face of like like billboards, and then they promote like the best of the best. They have like we go and like look for people, and we just make them the face of like the El Paso, art thing, and there's like reward for working hard, so that way you get recognition, and we have better festivals and better there just needs to be more incentive for people to come out and consume art, because there's not very many platforms from the city. Lots of places here, the private sector of business where people go and open up their venues, but the city does not really endorse these places or care to be like, live music. There's the El Paso Live magazine, which is something totally different from the city, and that's the only thing that they'll publish cool places and cool shows. But I think it's really ridiculous that plus the city doesn't really care about our venues' health that much or helping them through these difficult times. So it's been rough.
It's just a shame. It's just such a shame because even
I need to do something.
It's not just like arts and obviously in like film, because I'm a huge film. You know me, I'm a huge film buff. I love movies and all that. But it's also athletics too. I mean, thankfully we've had one breakout star that I know of for sure, and that's obviously Aaron Jones of the Green Bay Packers. He went to Burgess High School, played for UTEP, University of Texas at El Paso, and now he's like. He's like one of the best running backs today. Yeah. But like there's boxers I've met and other athletes, man, that just don't get that opportunity because
especially in that sector too.
It's just we don't do a good job of pushing them. We really don't. And it's a shame. Like, for example, Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones got a lucky break because, at least I think I might be a little armchair quarterbacking, but he wasn't even the starting running back for the Packers until like their running back got hurt, and I think their other running back got hurt, and they're like, all right, we'll throw you in, kid, and then all of a sudden, like, boom, he blossomed just like that, and now he's been starting I think for the past like 3 now going on 4 years, and he's a star. He's making millions of dollars, and he's a guy that played here at Burgess High School, and he's from here, and that's amazing. The same with Khalid, obviously, but that's one out of so many athletes, so many artists, and I know there are some that are talented, if not even more talented here, that should get those same opportunities, but the city doesn't offer them those opportunities because they don't help and support the artist. Like, for example, there's a boxer, her name's Jessica Hahn. Incredible boxer. She's talented. She can do things that I'm like, that's something, because her family was in martial arts. They did martial arts first, and then for some reason she just decided to do boxing. I don't know. I'd love to have her on to actually ask her about that. Hopefully, maybe one day. But But she's a world champion boxer. World champion boxer. She has like a legit belt. I think the IBF belt. I'm not sure what weight class exactly. But basically she could be a star. But not a lot of people have heard of her because the city doesn't help her to get promoted, get to a top ranked promotion. Not the promotion top rank, but to a top notch promotion is what I'm saying. It's because I just feel that the city like lacks in helping its people.
Nor does it have a COVID-19 relief fund for artists or anything like that. Lots of other states are offering cities are offering relief for the, vast majority of artists, creators, and musicians who lost a lot of stuff, live music, a lot of investments, and the bars also reopening up too, that were having shows planned, and it's like really difficult for people who are in this sector who rely on people coming out to see their stuff and buy their stuff in person and there's no like relief fund for that. There's no place to go apply. I think that I've seen some petitions online. I've seen on Instagram and stuff. I've come by them. People saying, ask the city, but I haven't seen anything come of it. So
yeah, it's just a damn shame. Maybe one day it'll get there. With y'all's breakthrough, maybe it'll get there. Something.
That's what it's going to be about. I just want because look, we have the potential to be like a bizarro Seattle. See, we have such a perfect cocktail of young musicians here.
Like, what do you mean? Explain that. Like a bizarro Seattle.
So Seattle has all the rain trees and forest and water everywhere. We got rocks, sand, but we got a great music scene here.
Of course, it's rough and it gets everywhere. Yeah, we don't want to bring Anakin Skywalker here. No, he'd hate it. No. But go ahead. Obviously, yeah, Seattle. Forest, rain, like lots of rain.
It's perfect because all the creators here are all very enthusiastic about what they're doing. It's really cool seeing. It's mostly the younger people that from the 2 graduating classes above me and the 2 below me, including mine also. It's like we all go out and support each other and see live music. My friend Dippy, the show that he had at Lowbrow, he had some Battle at the Band shows.
Okay.
The support he got, it was like a mini Lollapalooza in there. People jumping up and down.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was amazing. And all kids our age from the schools, grades above, grades below, and it's like for reals, and it's here on the west side, and it's also from people over there on Americas and over there on the east side, but they don't have, I guess, they don't
have the bond that you all have.
They don't have the platform or venues, because all the places over there, it's more like adult, they're in these bars.
It's more like
the
adult
lowbrow over
stuff.
Here, they have the offers for under 21 shows. They charge a small minor fee, and kids can go in and watch their favorite artists and stuff.
Okay.
So those kids though, some of them make the drive out over here, but I think there just needs to be more of that, the platforms for the younger.
For a younger audience
to come in and be allowed to come to these shows very enthusiastically promoted.
Because that's what kids in high school want to do. They want to go out to festivals. They want to party. They want to have a good time. And I think that they should have things available to that. Kids like to rave. I personally didn't like to rave because I don't like a lot of people touching me.
Yeah, no.
If anything, the only thing you'll get close to me is at a rock concert. That's it. But I listen to more music than I have in middle school and high school now. I like a little bit of Kelly Clarkson. I like a little Taylor Swift. Mm-hmm. I like a lot of rap and hip hop, especially the old school stuff of when I first listened to, like Biggie Smalls and Ice Cube, NWA, and all that, Mac Dre, all those guys. I listen to all kinds of music now. Hell, you'll even hear me listening to a little bit of freaking strings and some horns. I'll listen to some Beethoven. I also love the piano. The piano, I think, is the most beautiful instrument in the world.
Honestly,
anybody that can play the piano, I'm like, I adore you. This is just, it's such a beautiful instrument. But
honestly, in terms of classical, I'm a real fan of Ligeti. I like his use of dissonance and a lot of stuff. It can be very scary, intense. More so than any modern music nowadays.
Ligeti, Rush, right?
Huh?
Ligeti, Rush? Rush, the band, Rush.
No,
who?
Ligeti is He's a composer.
Oh, he's a composer.
He made a lot of stuff for. It's just very dissonant, like spooky sounding stuff, but it's requires a whole orchestra, and a bunch of singers. Very scary, like whoa.
Okay. Oh wait, who am I thinking? I'm thinking of Geddy Lee. Who's Geddy Lee from?
Geddy Lee's from Rush. Yeah.
There, that's what I'm like, what? Like,
Geddy Lee, no, Lee Geddy. No, yeah.
Whoops, my bad.
Yeah.
Lee Geddy and Geddy Lee.
No,
Your names are flip flopped.
No.
But that's insane. Well, speaking of composers, man, Tenet's gonna come out it's supposed to come out in a couple weeks in a movie theater. Obviously, no movie theaters open.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're gonna be opening anytime soon.
Nope.
Which pisses me off because I really want to watch this movie. I love Christopher Nolan movies.
No, they're the
obviously
best.
Inception,
Yeah.
the Dark Knight trilogy, Momentum, Interstellar. Even though some people are like kind of like about Interstellar, but I'm like Interstellar is great.
I love
Interstellar's fantastic.
The whole thing behind it.
Yeah, exactly. Dunkirk. Dunkirk's another one where people are like, it's a little slow. I'm like,
why can't people enjoy slow movies
why can't
anymore?
movies be a little slow paced now? It doesn't have to be like explosions.
I know, like
that's why I can't stand. No disrespect, but I just really can't stand a lot of Michael Bay stuff because I like the first Transformers. It's a good time, nothing wrong with it. Second one is garbage. Third one I think is just too long, and I'm just like, you're losing me. I'm not saying it's worse than the second one, but I still think the first one's better. But like all of his films and like A Pain and Gain is one of those where I'm like, I like it, but I can understand why people hate it because honestly, it's just like it takes effort to like watch that movie. Not effort like keep your eyes glued to the screen. I mean like literally effort of some stuff you literally have to cusp your eyes with your hands at because it's just like that's some parts. But his filmmaking is just. It's like super fast paced and it's super like go or like sometimes I need those little pauses and I don't get that from his movies and I think that's honestly what ruins like movies like Dunkirk when people are expecting like it's a war movie like Saving Private Ryan-esque and all that.
It needs to be action.
Exactly, and I'm like, no, this movie is great. Like
I like a little bit of time to set the tone. I like a little bit of scary, like silent, or I like a little bit of it. Movies like don't care to be art forms anymore. Instead, they're just trying to.
They're pumping money machines now, and that's why I have a passion for like when movies have like for example, the movie Brightburn. Mom and Dad like that movie. I personally don't because it's one of those movies where you had a great idea, but you were just lazy about about executing that idea. Like the movie, obviously the movie. Spoilers for Brightburn. The movie is what if Superman was evil. Exactly. And the thing about that is that it reveals that he's not human at the beginning of the movie, which I'm like, when I first saw it, I was like, well, I already know what this is about because I didn't watch any of the trailers. Someone kind of pitched the idea to me, so I was like, okay, let me go, and watch it. But as soon as that first scene appears and it opens, it's like, oh man, it's like, well, I already know. He's an alien. He's probably indestructible. Can't get cut.
I think movies should have more mystery. Like honestly, in the advertisement, they just like, you know what I mean. Movies need to be less obvious. Because movies back then, it was just like an artwork poster of just like a trivial thing, but it was like stylized and really cool. So instead, you just see the title, the art, and that's all you'd get. And then you'd get like a trailer that was very ambiguous and wouldn't give you a whole lot.
Yeah, exactly.
It gives you literally
I love trailers, and I don't like to watch trailers now, but there's some trailers like Tenet, for example, where I'm like, what the heck is this about? Oh my gosh, I want to see it. It's perfect like that because I have no idea what's going on. I'm like, what? This just looks amazing. I want to go see it. But like with Brightburn in that first scene, I already knew it was gonna happen, and then they just didn't they just didn't capitalize on anything. It was just like, I know what's gonna happen. He's gonna go on a killing spree. Someone's gonna get him all butthurt, and he's gonna be like, I don't like you, fuck you guys, and then like melt you with his laser eyes. You know, like in that College Humor videos of Batman with Pete Holmes. Like, oh, what are you gonna do, sweetie? Gonna burn us with your magic eyes? Is that soup too cold, madam? It's the same thing. It's like, I hurt my feelings. You know, but like it's like that. I'm like, this is ridiculous, and the violence is like over the top. It's like,
yeah,
you know, there's like a dude with his jaw like like that. It's like, what the.
And they have Roy from The Office as his dad.
Oh yeah, Roy from The Office. Yeah, his head blown through because he tries shooting his son in the head. Which I'm like, I can't side with you, dog. You're shooting your adopted son. Is ridiculous. I'm like, oh my god, like, oh.
He still gives off Roy vibes even.
Yeah, this is just like, oh my goodness. But, like, it's like that, where I'm like, you had a great idea, and then you just fail in execution of it. I can't stand movies like that. Like, there's another movie, Passengers, you know, with Chris Pratt and what's her name? Damn it. Jennifer, Hunger Games chick.
When did that come out?
Like, what's her name? No, first off,
Jennifer Lawrence?
Jennifer Lawrence. Yeah, it came out a few years ago. Passengers. Basically, Chris Pratt's they're in this ship. They're like traveling. I forget. Don't remember. It's been a while. But
is it like a space movie?
It's like a space movie. It's like a space isolation type movie.
Okay, I think.
And basically,
the advertising.
It's like Chris Pratt. He wakes up from his ship. Spoilers for Passengers if you haven't seen it. But it's too late for that. It came out fucking few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But he wakes up from his ship a little early and he's all feeling all lonely, like, no one on the ship with me. Oh, I'm kind of going a little miserable. Oh, I don't know what to do. And basically, he wakes up Jennifer Lawrence. Like, he sabotages her pod and she wakes up. But he tricks her, like, oh yeah, your pod must have been sabotaged. And yeah, like, oh, look at this, we're together. Let's be on the ship together. But that like kind of like ruins the movie because it makes me think of, what if they told the movie in a different way? Like, let's just say it starts off with like Chris Pratt and, you know, he's wandering the ship and, you know, you used to have it start off like that, and then all of a sudden it cuts, and then like a few months later it's him and Jennifer Lawrence, and then you're thinking like, oh crap, another pod must have gone off, and then you have a twist of that reveal of her pod didn't just miraculously like, he caused that. That would have made you be like, oh shit, like
they just gave it away instead.
Exactly, it gives it away, and you're like, you could have liked this movie so much more if
it would have had a lot more
in the middle, and like, you know, exactly. We've been like, oh my gosh, like he caused it.
Yeah.
You know, like that's the kind of movies that piss me off more than anything. Like, you can hate Trolls. You can't stand Secret Life of Pets. Like, you know, you can say those about those movies, but those movies, you know, I'm like, these movies are just made to pump money. Make money.
No, exactly.
But like, I can, like, you know what? Yeah, I can not like them, but you know what? I know what I'm getting. There you go. But with these movies, that like, okay, it sparks my interest, and when you go and do that to it, it's like, what are you doing? Yeah. It's like, you had something. Why are you being lazy?
Like Despicable Me.
Despicable Me. Well, Despicable Me, I mean,
the third one I do not like at all.
I think the third one is hilarious. Because I understand, I'm like, oh my gosh, first off, I like, the first one's like fine. I just think people blew it way out of proportion. Blew it way out of proportion. Don't spill your cookies in my damn room.
No, I didn't.
Last thing I need is ants in here.
There's no cookies on the floor.
Asshole. But like this first Despicable Me, I think people just blew that way out of proportion. The same thing, I call it the Frozen effect. People blew Frozen way off the roof.
I like Disney movies. I
like
didn't even
Disney movies
understand the hype of that. Like, I'm gonna be real. I remember we saw after we went to Texas Roadhouse one time or something, or
Did we?
before. Yeah, I remember it was before.
Okay.
And then we went to Texas Roadhouse and we were sitting there talking about it and we were like, I didn't really like it. I didn't understand why people liked it that much.
I mean, I did. I understood it because one, it's a beautiful looking movie. I do like a lot of the stuff.
There's a lot of good animation.
There's
there.
and
They had a good
honestly, the
team.
songs are very catchy. The songs are.
I
catchy.
can see how people.
Yeah, I can see it. Honestly, it's a good movie, Frozen. The same with Despicable Me. I think Despicable Me is
like Despicable Me a
fine.
lot.
I love Steve Carell. He's hilarious.
Yeah.
You know, girls. You get the,
Brian.
you like girls. You must get in this car. 1, 2. You are going to face the wrath of Gru. You know, and all that stuff. It's ridiculous. Like, you're stealing the damn moon.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like, you know what you're getting. Well, then you pump out a second one, and you're like, oh, it's like, all right. And then El Macho with the chest hair. That one, I'm just like, oh my god, like, this is ridiculous. And then the third one comes out, and I'm like, you see the trailer, and you're like, you know what? My brother, our little brother wants to see it. I was like, fine, let's watch it, okay? And we watched it on Netflix, and you know what? I laughed. I got a few chuckles because I'm like, you know what? They're ripping off the 80s. They're doing a lot of stuff. Like, I'm like, you know what? All right, fine. And it's not like it's trying. It's just like, look, this is what we're putting out. It's like, you know what to expect. It's like, all right, cool. And I liked it that way. But the opposite for me is for Frozen. Well, actually, not the opposite. I guess the same thing with the same sequel to Despicable Me is the same with the sequel to Frozen. I thought Frozen 2 was just, like, there's nothing special about it. It's just spoilers for Frozen 2. It's on Disney Plus. I watched it. It's just basically Elsa's powers are like getting more enchanted, and they have to go to this island, and there's like other creatures there. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. It's just the movie's like in this autopilot type of thing. Like, it's just there's nothing like ooh or like like for example, not Hans. Kristoff wants to propose to not Elsa. What's the other?
Anna.
Anna wants to propose to Anna. And he's like, I'm going to do it, but then he doesn't. Oh, now I'm going to do it? Oh, no, he doesn't. And then the rock people are like, no, you can do it. He's like, all right, I'm going to do it, but she's not there to do it. It's like, oh, like, it's like that. It's like, It's like.
It keeps doing that thing.
It keeps doing that. It's like, we know it ain't going to happen now till the end of the movie.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what I mean? It's like in the autopilot thing. It's like, oh, we're just waiting for him to propose to her, and
we're just gonna have quirky scenes.
We're just quirky scenes. Yeah, exactly. That's how Frozen 2. And I'm sure people love Frozen 2. You know, no disrespect to them, but it's just
The direction?
like, that's just, if you're gonna make a movie, make it good or try. But you know what? That doesn't mean like every movie's gonna be perfect. Sometimes, you're gonna have some mistakes, and not every movie's gonna be great. I mean, but the point is that you keep trying. I mean, look at freaking like Ridley Scott. Ridley Scott made Alien. Like, he made Alien, and did he help make Alien 2, or did was that Titanic director?
No, James Cameron.
James Cameron. Didn't James Cameron help with Alien 2?
Yeah, James Cameron helped with Alien 2.
Yeah, I think what. But anyway, Ridley Scott, for example, what's the prequel? God, it's slipping my mind. Please, nobody yell at me and nobody hate me for not knowing this. Prometheus, for example. A lot of people like Prometheus. A lot of people hate Prometheus. It's so confusing. I don't get it. What is going on here? Help. I love Prometheus. I think it's great. I think, honestly, if you break it down and watch that movie, it's like it's very good. I like it. Alien Covenant, the sequel to it, basically, it's good, but it's disappointingly good because I want this movie to be great, if that makes sense. And that's one of those things, you know, because I can tell like there was nothing lazily done about it. It just didn't. Just some things didn't work. But I'm content with that because I'm like, I'm upset because I want this to be better, and I know ways it could have been better. But at least it's not as bad as people bash it. You're like, no, there's effort put into this. There's something put into it.
I don't know. I think Alien, honestly, I love the fact that they carried it up to 2 aliens. Yeah. But honestly, past that, I haven't really found a love for the films, because beforehand, for me, it was about the aesthetic and scary design of space and the relation to the humans and the alien. Oh, you know what? Oh, my gosh.
What?
Bassist is calling me.
Bassist is calling?
Yeah, it's rehearsal time.
Oh, I just got to do rehearsal.
Yeah, he says here, fool.
All right. Well, hey man, and thank you for doing this. Thank you for setting this all up,
dude,
man.
this was so fun.
And hopefully next time we'll have a better space, or we have to do this. We can get a better camera or whatever to get better stuff.
100%.
But I mean, hey man, thank you for being the first one, and I appreciate it, man. This concludes the first episode of the shoot. Hope you enjoy and tune in for more.
Peace.